Imagine landing on a planet so hot, it cooks your insides, so heavy it crushes your body like a soda can, and it still wouldn't be the worst way to die in space. Yeah, welcome to your all-expenses-paid one-way tour of the most brutal death traps in our solar system. Buckle up, because the planets out here, they're not just uninhabitable. They're actively trying to kill you. The first stop on your suicide vacation package? Venus. Sounds sexy, right? Like the goddess of love, or that hot coworker from accounting. But Venus doesn't want your love. It wants to obliterate you. Let's say your ship lands successfully, miraculously, on the surface. You step out in your $12 million NASA-grade suit, feeling like a hero. 5 seconds later, you're dead. Crushed. Imploded. Toasted. In that order. Here's the play-by-play of your 5-second farewell. Second 1. The atmospheric pressure on Venus is 92 times that of Earth. Your suit begins to collapse like a beer can in a frat boy's fist. Second 2. Your joints snap inward, blood vessels pop, your eyes feel like they're about to explode. You try to scream, but there's no air. Second 3. Your ribs collapse inward, your lungs flattened, your heart, it's already given up. Second 4. Your brain flickers, still aware, still conscious. That's the worst part. Second 5. Everything goes black. You become part of the Venusian soil, officially rated a 0 out of 10 for hospitality. But hey, at least the view was nice while it lasted. Venus has this golden glow, covered in clouds that trap heat like a prison. Literally. It's the ultimate greenhouse effect, and you're the little cucumber inside. The surface temperature? Recently, 465 degrees Celsius. That's 869 degrees Fahrenheit for my fellow Americans. Hotter than most lava flows on Earth. If the pressure didn't kill you, the heat would turn your insides into stew. You'd be like a hot pocket, cooked unevenly, frozen on the outside, nuclear on the inside. And in the unlikely event your suit somehow survived the pressure and the heat, Venus still isn't done with you. Let me introduce you to sulfuric acid rain. It's not just dramatic, it's personal. The rain would melt through your suit like battery acid through a balloon. It would burn your skin, your eyes, your soul. And even if you held your breath like a stubborn child at the dentist, you'd still suffocate. The air is 96.5% carbon dioxide, 3.5% nitrogen. That's basically a CO2 smoothie with a side of doom. Venus is a walking HR violation. Let's get out of here. Next stop, Mercury. Mercury, the first planet from the sun. You'd think it would be the hottest. But no, Mercury is a liar. During the day, it's hotter than your ex's revenge. At night, it's colder than their heart. On the dark side of Mercury, temperatures plunge to minus 180 Celsius grade. That's minus 290 Fahrenheit. It's colder than anywhere on Earth. Your body starts to tingle, fingers go numb. You try to crack a joke to keep morale up, but you're slurring your words. You're not drunk, you're dying. This is hypothermia, and it's just getting started. 10 minutes in, you're moving slower than a Windows 95 boot screen. Your muscles stiffen. You're confused. Everything feels off. Core body temperature 32 degrees Celsius. Danger zone. You try to get back to your ship, but your legs won't cooperate. At this point, you're not thinking clearly. You might hallucinate. You might sit down thinking it's fine to rest. Bad move. An hour later, you're frozen solid, your corpse a popsicle left in the shadow of the sun. But maybe you decide to land on Mercury's sunny side. Better? Think again. The day side is 427 degrees Celsius grade. That's over 800 degrees Fahrenheit, just a hair cooler than Venus. But the real killer here isn't heat, it's radiation. Mercury has no atmosphere, no ozone layer, no sunscreen. The moment you step out of your ship, your skin starts to burn. Not metaphorically, literally. Your DNA starts breaking down within milliseconds. One breath without a suit and your lungs are gone. One glitch in your cooling system and you're a rotisserie chicken. Your temperature rises to 42 degrees Celsius. That's 107.6 degrees for an internal. You're delirious, sweating like a sauna victim. Then your organs begin to shut down. It's death by boiling. Mercury's day side, 2 out of 10. Only because the views are fire, literally. But let's talk about Mars. Ah, Mars. The dreamy, red one. The place every tech billionaire wants to build a colony and retire like it's some cosmic Florida. Don't fall for it. You land, step outside your ship, and immediately your lungs are on fire. Why? Because Mars has an atmosphere made almost entirely of carbon dioxide, and it's thin, like barely there thin. Even a minor tear in your spacesuit is a death sentence. Your suit depressurizes. The pressure inside equalizes with Mars's weak atmosphere, and boom, ebulism. Never heard of it? You will. Your blood starts to boil. Gases trapped in your fluids expand. Your skin puffs up like a marshmallow in a microwave. You're not exploding, but it sure feels like it. And after 7 minutes, lights out. Forever. And if that doesn't kill you, don't worry. Mars has dust storms that can cover the entire planet. These storms last for weeks, even months. They're not strong like hurricanes, but they are vicious. The dust is razor fine, like powdered glass. It gets inside your suit, scratches your visor, clogs your oxygen filter, and destroys your heat regulation. Your equipment fails. Your life support fails. You fail. You die, slowly suffocating in red dirt, while the storm howls like the devil in surround sound. But hey, at least you got to stand on another planet. So maybe you're thinking, okay, Venus is a microwave, Mercury's a two-faced psycho, Mars is a dusty death trap. Surely it gets better from here. Nope. Let's talk about Jupiter, the cosmic heavyweight champion. The biggest planet in the solar system, twice as massive as all the other planets combined. And it doesn't even have a surface. Yeah, you can't walk on Jupiter, there's nowhere to land. If you try, you just fall. Forever. Through layers and layers of crushing gas, like a cosmic onion of doom. But the real fun begins about 50 kilometers down. That's when the winds pick up, 360 kilometers per hour, 224 miles per hour. You're tumbling through a hurricane the size of Earth. And just as you think, well, at least it's windy, boom, lightning. Not just a cute little Earth thunderstorm. Jupiter's lightning bolts are apocalyptic. They could power entire cities. One bolt hits your capsule and fries everything. Navigation, life support, your Spotify playlist. Gone. Suddenly you're floating in silence, in the dark, as your oxygen runs out and the temperature plummets. Oh, and the pressure's climbing so high, your capsule starts crumpling like a soda can under a truck tire. And you're next. 5 out of 10 for Jupiter. Not because it's survivable, it's not, but because dying here feels biblical. Let's move on to Saturn. If Jupiter is the angry, drunk uncle of the solar system, Saturn is the majestic cousin with a secret dark side. Everyone loves the rings. They're gorgeous, right? Billions of icy particles shimmering like diamond dust. But here's the thing nobody tells you. Those rings, they move at 70,000 kilometers per hour, 43,500 miles per hour. That's 50 times faster than a bullet. One wrong move, and your spaceship gets shredded like cheese on a grater. Assuming you dodge the rings and make it into Saturn's atmosphere, congrats. You've now entered a swirling hellscape of hydrogen and helium storms. Winds reach up to 1,800 kilometers per hour, 1,120 miles per hour. That's faster than any storm on Earth. You'd be torn apart before you even realized you were dying. And deep inside Saturn, things get really weird. The pressure is so intense that it turns hydrogen into metal. Let that sink in. You're in a place where atoms bend to the planet's will. If you somehow survived this long, your body would be flattened, melted, and probably turned into soup. Saturn gets an 8 out of 10, only because dying here feels like a poetic sacrifice to the gods. Now, let's take a sharp turn toward Uranus. Yes, that's how it's pronounced. Let's get the jokes out of the way. But real talk, Uranus is lethal. For starters, it's the coldest planet in the solar system. Temperatures drop to minus 224 degrees Celsius. That's minus 371 degrees Fahrenheit. Forget frostbite. We're talking instant freeze. If your suit has even a tiny crack, your blood turns into slush in seconds. And while you're turning into a meat popsicle, you're also suffocating. The atmosphere is mostly hydrogen, helium, and methane. That methane, it's toxic. 2% might sound low, but it's enough to kill you fast. Maybe you think, okay, I'll just go deeper into the planet where it's warmer. Big mistake, because the deeper you go, the more insane it gets. Pressure builds, temperature skyrockets, and at some point something incredible happens. Your body, 18% carbon, starts to crystallize. That's right, you, my friend, are about to be turned into a human-sized diamond. Sure, you'll be dead, but you'll also be fabulous. 10 out of 10 for Uranus. The death, horrific, but the afterlife, sparkly. Let's keep going, we're not done. Next up, Neptune, the forgotten sibling. Looks like Uranus, acts like Satan. Neptune has the fastest winds in the solar system. We're talking 2,100 kilometers per hour, 1,300 miles per hour. That's faster than sound, supersonic windstorms. You land and bam, you're in a full-blown space tornado. Your spaceship, tossed around like a sock in a washing machine. The G-forces build, your organs compress, blood pools in your legs, brain starved of oxygen. You black out, and you never wake up. Even if your ship holds up, Neptune's atmosphere, methane, ammonia, hydrogen, is like bathing in industrial cleaner. It'll eat your suit, then your lungs, then your soul. 2 out of 10 would not visit again. But wait, we've got one last stop before we end this scenic tour of solar system death, Pluto. Okay, it's not technically a planet anymore, but don't let its dwarf status fool you. Pluto is a silent killer. It's small, cold, remote, but it's so cold it makes Uranus look tropical. We're talking minus 239 degrees Celsius, minus 398 degrees Fahrenheit. Step outside for 30 seconds, and you'll start to feel your skin crystallize. Another 30 seconds, your blood's turning into ice slushies. Your body shuts down like an old PC. Blue screen of death, but for real. After 2 minutes, your body is frozen solid. After 3, your organs are permanently offline. You become a frozen statue on the surface of a forgotten world. Kind of poetic in a messed up way. 7 out of 10. Quick, quiet, almost peaceful, like falling asleep in a freezer filled with nightmares. So let's recap. Venus will crush, cook. You've barely survived the hellish resume of our solar system's planets. So what now? Maybe you're thinking, okay, surely there's got to be a better planet out there. Maybe one of those mysterious exoplanets they keep talking about, something Earth-like? Yeah, about that. Let me introduce you to the real killers out there. Places so bizarre, so violent, so utterly alien, they make Venus look like a weekend in Miami. First up, let's say we send you to an exoplanet like Kepler 70b. Sounds cute, right? It's not. This nightmare rock orbits its star so closely, it completes a full revolution in less than a day. It's literally hugging the star. Imagine a planet where the surface temperature is 7,000 degrees Fahrenheit, hotter than the surface of our sun. That's not just toasty, that's your atoms are now plasma hot. There's no pressure, no wind, no freezing death. You just get vaporized instantly. You don't even have time to scream. One step out of your ship and you're gone, converted into light. No pain, no drama, just poof. Cosmic instant noodle. 0 out of 10, too fast, not even fun. But maybe you think, let's go for something more mysterious, like a rogue planet. Good luck. Rogue planets are homeless. They've been flung out of their solar systems and now drift through space like drunk gods. No sun, no heat, just eternal darkness and temperatures near absolute zero. You land on one, and the silence hits harder than the cold. It's oppressive. You look around and there's nothing. No horizon, no stars, just endless black. Your suit's heaters start failing. Your breath fogs. Your visor frosts up. You shiver, then shake, then freeze. Slowly, painfully. And the worst part? You don't die quickly. You die over hours, alone in the dark, with no hope of rescue. It's death by cosmic isolation, a psychological horror. Not a bad way to go if you want your life to be a haunting poem. 5 out of 10. Points for existential dread. Still curious? Let's go deeper. Let's talk about neutron stars. These aren't planets. They're remnants of dead stars, and they pack more mass than the sun into something the size of a city. The result? Gravity so intense, if you got within 1,000 kilometers of one, it would stretch your body into spaghetti. Spaghettification, a very real scientific term, by the way. You'd be pulled so violently that your atoms would separate. Bones, blood, soul, zip, all unraveling into a glowing death string before you even realize what's happening. And don't even get me started on the radiation. Neutron stars pulse beams of high-energy particles like a galactic lighthouse of doom. You get hit by that, and your DNA is scrambled faster than an egg on a jet engine. -10 out of 10. Too hardcore. Still not satisfied? You sick freak. Let's go all in. Black holes. This is where the rules of physics stop making sense. You float near a black hole's event horizon, and time slows down. To you, seconds pass. To someone watching from afar, centuries. But you're not watching the clock. You're falling in. And the closer you get to the center, the stronger the gravity. Your feet stretch first, then your legs, then your spine. Your body becomes a thread pulled tighter than reality can handle. And then, nothing. You cross the event horizon, and you're gone. No light escapes. No information. You become part of the singularity, crushed into a point smaller than anything the human mind can imagine. Or maybe, just maybe, you fall into a wormhole and end up in an alternate dimension. No one knows. And that's the worst part. Dying in a black hole, that's the most terrifying death of all, because you might still exist, somewhere, forever. Black hole. Out of 10. For horror, for mystery, for drama. So where does that leave us? We've traveled across the solar system. We've watched you get crushed, burned, frozen, irradiated, shredded, boiled, suffocated, vaporized, and spaghettified. And somehow Earth, the planet you were born on, the one you complain about daily, is the only place keeping you alive. Crazy, huh? You might hate Mondays. You might hate taxes. You might hate your neighbor's lawn flamingos. But here's the deal. Earth doesn't want to kill you. Every other place, it does. And it will, with creativity. So next time you step outside and whine about the weather, remember this. It's not Venus hot. It's not Mercury cold. You're not inhaling acid, boiling blood, or becoming a human diamond. You're just alive, on a floating blue rock in the middle of death itself. Kinda makes you appreciate your rent payment, huh? Where should we go next? A planet made entirely of water? One with glass rain? Or maybe deep space where even light gets lost? Drop it in the comments. Smash that like button. And if you want to help fund the next terrible way we die, support the channel on Patreon. Because in space, no one can hear you scream. But on YouTube, they definitely can.